Good afternoon. My name is Michael Winkler, and I am a faculty member at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. Like Mansura, UNC Chapel Hill is known as a center of excellence in nephrology. Our chair of internal medicine, nephrologist Ronald Falk, played an instrumental role in the classification of vasculitis, which is still referred to as the International Chapel Hill classification. I would like to thank Dr. Sabry for the invitation to speak today. I am speaking about artificial intelligence because, about 4 years ago, I completed substantive quantitative work on 2 studies for Dr. Amr El-Husseini. The other radiologist on the project and I did all the image analysis for these studies manually. Since then, AI automation of vascular calcification quantification has become a reality, and it is soon to be a reality for quantitative analysis of bone mineral density. These are my disclosures. Any discussion of artificial intelligence applications in imaging begins with general techniques of image enhancement. These pre-processing techniques improve every subsequent step of image post-processing and analysis. Interpolation is the addition of pseudodata into expanded storage matrices interspersed with source data. When this is done with artificial intelligence, this process greatly enhances human and machine perception of source data. The example of interpolation on the right was performed with an algorithm I use daily in clinical practice. When coupled with other techniques, the effect of interpolation can be quite dramatic. The first 2 phases of this video are changes in reconstruction protocols. The second 2 phases are interpolations. While no new data is added, this technique dramatically improves our perception of data that was already there. AI noise reduction during or after image reconstruction from numerical data is an important advance for all medical imaging. Here are 2 examples of AI noise reduction techniques provided by hardware vendors that are shipping with new CT scanners. The images on the left are conventional image reconstructions, and those on the right are post-AI noise reduction images. There can be problems with artificial intelligence noise reduction algorithms when they are applied to quantitative imaging. Hardware-specific algorithms are unsuited for most interinstitutional research. Algorithms can adversely shift the spectrum of noise to lower frequency while decreasing noise amplitude, as is represented by the graph on the right. The best algorithms for noise reduction decrease noise amplitude without changing its spectrum, mirroring the decrease in noise that is gained by increasing radiation dose, as demonstrated by the graph on the left. The best AI algorithms for quantitative analysis are built on top of hardware-agnostic noise reduction algorithms that preserve the noise spectrum of the original data. For example, in my laboratory, we are developing AI algorithms using Algomedica's Pixel Shine. More on the importance of noise texture toward the end of this presentation. Next up, vascular calcification. This audience appreciates the potential of quantification of vascular calcification as a research tool to study the topics of renal failure and bone metabolism. There is great news on this front because there are 4 great commercial AI-derived algorithms, 3 of which are already FDA approved, that perform this task automatically. Clearly, a software suite for plaque characterization, provides an AI algorithm for volumetric assessment of calcified plaque. While very accurate, it is the least powerful of the solutions I am discussing because it relied on expert labeling for training. It was developed at the University of Washington and will certainly improve because the company has been well funded by venture capitalists. They are currently looking for academic partners and are providing in-kind support at many institutions. Elucid Vivo is a company that I have been watching for nearly a decade. 5 years ago, Dr. Amr El-Husseini considered using their algorithm for one of his projects, but ultimately decided against it. At the time, like clearly now, their algorithm only reported calcified plaque volume. They have advanced significantly since then, achieving FDA and CE approval and improving calcified plaque segmentation to show plaque morphology in exquisite detail. Their algorithm is built upon a proprietary AI interpolation algorithm, which is one of the reasons it excels. It was trained with expert labeled histopathology, which is better than expert labeling of CT data alone. HeartFlow is a company that has been providing simulated fractional flow reserve analysis of CT data for over a decade. Aware of the work being done by Elucid, they began to invest in both AI and plaque characterization and will soon be releasing a suite of AI algorithms which will include quantification of calcified plaque. Their FDA approval for this suite has been delayed, but is expected soon. Some of their academic customers will receive early access to this suite at no cost. Their algorithm was trained with expert labeling of histopathology, just like Elucid. Last but not least, and my favorite, is Coreline. This Korean company has produced a CE and FDA approved calcium quantification algorithm specifically for non-contrast CT scans by turning the problem upside down, like the philosopher Confucius did with his famous apple and vase problem. By learning to segment the aorta, left ventricular myocardium, and left ventricular lumen before working on the coronary arteries, their AI algorithm delivers coronary artery calcium scores with perfect accuracy. They can also score the aorta and, amazingly, non-gated studies. Their algorithm is built on top of an algorithm that performs noise reduction with AI. Coreline has a greater interest in the Middle East than most American companies, and I have already recommended to their CEO that they partner with Mansoura University. Expect to hear from them. Lastly, I will discuss a topic I admit I know very little about, but I am interested in thanks to my partnership with Dr. Amr El-Husseini. AI algorithms for the quantification of bone mineral density are on the cusp of relevancy. I predict that 2 years from now, we will have more than one CE or FDA approved algorithm for CT-based opportunistic osteoporosis screening. Work has already been done showing that opportunistic screening for osteoporosis can be performed using diagnostic non-contrast CT scans of the chest. Here you can see an AI algorithm segmenting vertebral bodies, calculating their heights, and interrogating medullary space density. However, this algorithm has two important limitations. First, it uses monoenergetic scans that were performed without calibration phantoms, leading to less than perfect quantification. Second, it cannot be performed using low-dose lung cancer screening studies. Ideally, an opportunistic screening study should be added to another screening study rather than to a diagnostic study. Consider how diagnosis of osteoporosis for a patient being scanned for metastatic cancer has less importance than it might for an outwardly healthy former smoker undergoing cancer screening. Amazingly, the problem of monoenergetic scan data has already been solved. An AI has been trained that accurately converts monoenergetic scans into simulated dual energy scans. Once combined with automated QCT algorithms, it will allow for internal calibration so no phantom scanning, either synchronous or asynchronous, will be necessary. Remember how I mentioned noise texture in the context of AI noise reduction algorithms earlier in this talk? Phantom work has been done showing that at least one AI noise reduction algorithm preserves noise texture enough to allow for QCT to be performed using data from low-dose lung cancer screening studies. Some of you may be able to appreciate that the AI-enhanced low-dose image in the upper right corner has less noise amplitude and similar noise texture to the high-dose image in the lower left corner. Soon, these or similar algorithms, if combined, will allow a software vendor to offer a product that performs accurate automated assessment of fracture risk without DEXA scanning, phantom-based QCT, or dual energy CT. I will close by briefly discussing two important developments that will affect the immediate future of quantitative AI algorithms: the concept of radiomics and the technology of photon counting CT. AI algorithms do not need to be trained with data that makes practical sense. Radiomics is the process of extracting as many features from imaging data as possible. These features can then be tried individually, in groups, or in total as training sets for AI algorithms. As you see here, this has been performed with promising success by at least one investigative group to estimate fracture risk. Photon counting CT has finally become clinically available. At UNC Chapel Hill, we are currently in the process of installing our first PCCT. This technology, instead of simply recording the number of X-ray photons that interact with each detector element, records the wavelength of every single photon. This huge amount of data to the scanner is analogous to color vision for ourselves. It will allow for complex quantitative material decomposition and greatly expanded extraction of imaging features for radiomics. Thank you very much for your attention. I hope you've enjoyed this presentation.